me! Somebody! Anybody! Save me! I'd even settle for... And the monkey's paw flips me the bird.
Okay, I'll try to keep this one short. It's been kind of a crazy couple of months, and this was an ongoing story. If you've ever been part of a fandom that has a section that is just going to make you cringe whenever you hear that certain name, well, the anime community's is Chibi Reviews, along with others like maybe Nux Taku and Rep Says Desu. You may have seen him in his many appearances on the show American Dad as the character Snot, although Chibi on YouTube is more known as an anime review channel that doesn't really review anime much anymore and instead falls into the same lines as people like, say, Clownfish TV and Hero Hey. Which is to say, he's kind of a tabloid channel that's more interested in headlines than research, and a fan base that doesn't seem to really care that much as long as they agree with the general overview of said subject matter. Yeah, for instance, his censorship video on what was going on in Indonesia. Last year, protests were held in Indonesia where they were decrying laws passed for housing subsidies for members of their parliament. In other words, it's just open corruption. It got really out of hand with a person being killed and even the country adopting the Jolly Roger from One Piece, which was later banned by the government and even considered a terrorist organization by some of the law members, trying to stomp out the protests. Chibi only seemed to be aware of the last thing from reading the tweet about it, and didn't really delve that far into it. He also seemed to act like this was a new thing happening when it wasn't. Indonesia had been censoring the internet years before this. Chibi just seemingly kept regurgitating the same talking points he does about normal anime censorship, kind of leaving out everything that the protests were about, and even went on other tangents about other governments censoring other subjects like immigration, which, to be clear, was not a part of what was happening here at all. And if you didn't know about what the original story was about, you may conclude that the two are related, which they weren't. He even takes time to talk about how he thinks he was being censored for talking about it on YouTube, because his views seem to have flatlined. Something easily fact-checked, which it was by No Operator, somebody who covered this in a video that had Chibi in the thumbnail.
Just gonna say, I might be crazy when I say this, but if you look at my videos I've been uploading for the last week or so, I've been talking about the subject a lot. And there's always a chance maybe the video just didn't do well. That's fine. But, as soon as I name dropped YouTube negatively, 2 days ago, talking about them introducing ID, forced ID, suddenly, my videos after that now have had half the views on these topics. Just completely cut. And I looked at the analytics for, my video, okay? That came out yesterday about the same topic that was actually very important. Suddenly, half. Just straight up halved. And I saw the line go like this, and then it in the analytics. I'm just like, that's very strange. Very strange for my videos. That does not happen. And once again, maybe just the video left the algorithm. I don't know. It's possible. It is. Because I don't have proof for this. But it is strange that suddenly when there is a big conversation around censorship and then even YouTube being brought into question, my video just kind of weird.
Just such a weaselly little liar. And it should be obvious by now that these creators just make their entire livings off of controversy. They literally wouldn't exist without it. While he's not struggling to break 10K like the mini-me's, I promise you, he isn't cooking up over 100K view videos often. Which is, by the way, what pretty much almost every video he's made on that topic has gotten. He even mentions that he's heard other creators have this problem, and even that some other creators haven't gotten paid over the last few days. Which, yes, there were ad revenue issues over the last couple of days, but this happens sometimes, right? This is not the first time it's happened, so I'm not sure why we're taking this and adding it into everything else. The pinned comment also begs everyone to like, comment, and share to make sure the video doesn't get shadow banned, which is just clown behavior when you realize it's one big fat lie.
His video was really good and covers this and a few more stories where Chibi exaggerates or just leaves out entire chunks of information. I'll actually link it down in the description below, as when he made the thing, he seemed to have got a lot of Chibi supporters that didn't even bother to read the video. And he did in fact manage to calm a lot of those people down, blasting the video as pro-censorship, which it wasn't, it was just anti-misinformation. But remember how no operator handled this for later when you see how Chibi reacts to people who disagree with him. This little story is just to give you the gist of Chibi, who very clearly wasn't researching the stories and clearly falls back on talking points he either likes or knows will play well with his audiences. None more obvious than him repeating the greatest lie in the anime community, which is just Japan fighting censorship from the West. As I have said in multiple videos at this point, this is just bullshit. Japan is guilty of all the same crap they accuse the West of. They have changed characters or removed them entirely, rewrote chunks of stories like with Rama 1/2 and Yu Yu Hakusho, even starting shipping wars like in Bleach, usually to please their own country's censorship laws, directors, or editors. For instance, the Doctor That Raised One Tony Tony Chopper and the fifth JoJo Giorno had their introductions cut and altered to make them look less evil for kids who may be watching. And yes, they have actually censored other media coming into Japan. This is not really a West versus the East type thing here. Everybody is doing this. Which is why it really matters that you pay attention to what exactly is changed. As yes, Japan has always been completely aware of the censorship in the West. And whenever a Japanese company or director says something to go against the narrative set up by guys like Chibi or Clownfish TV, they tend to act like their fiancé just cheated on them. Take this tweet about Mappa's president looking for a global community while working with Netflix. Chibi says this means their focus is now catering towards a modern global audience over just Japan, the very thing they all feared would happen for years. Which is weird when you remember he isn't Japanese, he is in fact part of the modern global audience of anime fans. And second, he also says anime is popular because it focused on Japan, which it wasn't. A lot of anime focuses on things outside of Japan. Attack on Titan, DBZ, Apothecary Diaries, Lupin the Third, Vinland Saga, Full Metal Alchemist. I just keep going all day with this. None of these animes have anything to do with Japan, and a lot more heavily borrow from other cultures. In fact, he uses the director of the Sword Art Online anime as a source, but I'll actually raise him the creator of Sword Art Online. When asked why SAO did so well in America, he actually credits it with America being the birthplace of MMORPGs. The kinds like World of Warcraft and Diablo that actually inspired him to make this manga. Other shows like My Hero Academia was also heavily inspired by American superheroes like Spider-Man. Their creator even has a shrine to him in his house. Not just new shows either. Shows like Cowboy Bebop were also heavily inspired by westerns and noir films from America. So this has always been a lie engineered to make Chibi or his fans feel more special by protecting this pure version of a medium that never existed. Also, for a guy fighting against censorship, he is probably one of the worst guys you want in your corner. As the one thing everyone knows about him is that he's kind of a creep online. The guy openly has Rule 34 animations in his thumbnails and advocates for shows like Redo of Healer, Gushing Over Magical Girls, and Interspecies Review, making multiple videos defending all of them. And if you don't know, all of these shows are basically just porn. Not fan service, but full-on porn. The least controversial of which being the one about a hermaphroditic angel that looks 10 going around and reviewing brothel experiences like a shemale hyena woman 3 times her size. Oh, and why is that one the least controversial? Well, because everyone is on paper at least a consenting adult, which cannot be said about the other two, which very clearly define their characters as one underage and not consenting. Chibi is literally the stereotypical guy people fighting for ID laws point to as an example of why we need them, because he just keeps posting this crap everywhere. His Twitter page, his YouTube page, everywhere. So we clearly need laws since he can't/won't stop shoving it in everyone's face, including kids that just might find one of his videos, completely unrelated, but might also get one of the bad ones through the algorithm because they had watched an unrelated one. Editor's note here, as it turns out, Chibi has some rather negative opinions on trans people. Kind of odd when you remember how he defended a show that is very much sexualizing trans characters. And anime itself overall has a lot of those too. And that kind of contradiction is kind of normal for him as it turns out. Chibi seems to disassociate how he acts from what he likes. For example, he has defended manga creators who were receiving a lot of hate online for his manga depicting a high school boy crushing on another boy. However, he has also joined creators like Asmongold and Tectone when they have freakouts over seeing things like rainbows in video games like World of Warcraft. You know, like those two things don't obviously overlap. Like the people that freak out over rainbows clearly wouldn't attack a creator that made a gay romance in a manga, right? No, those are the exact types of people to do that. I just, it vexes me. And of course, this also applies to his lolicon, as Chibi hates shows like Cuties, but if it was animated, he'd probably be the first one to defend it, as he has just done that before with other animated shows like the ones I just brought up. It really just feels like projection, but you know, back to the video. This is also what has led to his recent lolcal status, as after his actual fiancée cheated on him with his best friend and his friend group turning on him, the internet got immediately to work putting two and two together, laughing at him because both before and after, he just kept posting lolly content and complaining about how it was taken off of certain sites for him to enjoy. Like this guy, the Angry Asian, had pointed out very clearly.
For this many people to hate this guy that much, he must have done something bad. And oh my god, it's completely deserved. For those of you who don't know who Chibi Reviews is, this guy is a pretty infamous, well-known content creator in the anime community. He is known for having a lot of, let's just say, the kid-friendly takes on anime. He's an astute lolicon and believes that incest is incest. Yep, I'm not bullshitting that. He believes that he's one of those dudes that thinks it's perfectly okay for, like, a little girl to look 11, but in actuality, she's 12,000 years old or something. He's one of those guys, you know what I mean? Like, straight off the bat, not a great start, you know what I mean? Like, he's not really a dude that you want to be stepping up to the plate for, you know what I'm saying? And also, something that I learned about Chibi Reviews and his fiance is that they have, like, a 10-year age gap. This dude was, like, 28 when he met his fiance when she was freshly 18. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not gonna say he deserved it, but I'm not gonna feel bad for bro either, you know what I mean? And the internet feels the same. More, actually, the internet is celebrating this. I've never seen somebody get heartbreakingly cheated on like this and have his entire friend group switch up on him, and the entirety of the internet just decides, you know what, bro? We're gonna put some shit on the girl because of this. Like, bro, Twitter is frying this dude right now, bro. Oh my god! Like, some of these are crazy, dude. Like, hell nah. Nah, bro. Nah. Could you imagine seeing some of these on your timeline, bro? These are about you. The mental fortitude that this dude has, insane. Like, genuinely, if I was in his position right now, dude, no bullshit, I'm ending it. Like, fuck y'all. Like, there are only a handful of people with worse lives than this motherfucker right now. Like, if you guys ever watched the show 13 Reasons Why, this motherfucker's on his 30th reason already in 2 days. Dude is low-key stronger than 95% of us. I don't think I understand this, bro. His fiance cheated on not just some random dude, literally his best friend of 10 years, bro. I could never imagine my fucking friend ever doing that to me, bro. The amount of betrayal I already feel just from my fiance cheating on me, but not only with just some random dude, but my best friend, I don't even want to know what the fuck I do. And then my whole friend group switching up on me, meaning I have no support group anymore, and the entirety of the internet is absolutely flaming my shit, and nobody's on my side. Actually, no, there is one person that's supporting him, Tectone, the dude who literally lost a civil case for sexual assault. So, yeah, you know, it's not much, but you'll take what you can get, I guess.
Chibi then, like any person that can't take the heat or just his behavior, took this so personally and just started blaming everyone else. He was just straight up jumping into fights that had nothing to do with him. And that's how a lot of the recent drama with other creators like Schlepp started. You see, Schlepp had made a comment about lolicon being predators, leading to Chibi to go after him, and then the whole thing spiraled from there. Schlepp got caught associating with a lolicon enjoyer, while Chibi's fans were sending lewd drawings of Schlepp as a child, which of course got more people to pay attention to the drama, because holy is that insane. Then it actually somehow got worse for Chibi as he made a video defending lolicons, really playing up the victim angle and over-exaggerating the complaints and putting up hypotheticals of people calling the cops on anyone holding lolly drawings.
What really shocks me is that an individual that has their entire career based around being a predator catcher is someone that cannot separate fiction from reality. That is what really blew me away when I saw this post today, and the amount of damage that this post and this individual is going to cause to actual real people and victims out there and allow criminals to actually get away.
Which, to be clear, no one actually did. And Chibi avoided the main problems of having lewd drawings and animated kids isn't exactly an issue that makes you look non-predatory. Like, yeah, the drawings are drawings, but what are you using them for exactly, my guy? And this was something a lot of people pointed out, as well as really hammered him on using those hypothetical straw men to attack other creators, such as Diesel Patches and Jandian, whose videos buried Chibios in the view count, something he clearly took personally.
To everyone that he's crafting a lolicon defense video. Fuck it. I'm making a lolly defense video today. I've already been cancelled, had hundreds of thousands of death threats and false accusations. I have nothing to lose, and I will not stop speaking up for freedom of expression within artwork. Let me just start by saying, if you're expecting a video of Chibi talking about how much he loves wanking it to little cartoon girls, you won't find it in this video. As smelly as it is to make a lolicon defense video, most of Chibi's arguments are centered around protecting free speech. However, there is a difference when it comes to making an obvious distinction between CSAM and lolicon, and then there's outright defending cartoon children being drawn for sexual gratification, along with sharing your obsession with sexualized cartoon children for you and your other creep friends to admire, which is exactly what this dumpster fire of a video is. Just because CSAM is worse doesn't mean it's morally correct to defend fictional children being sexualized.
So let's just get right into this. So first off, let's address the elephant in the room, which is what Schlep is talking about. He's talking about how lollies are basically, if you like lollies, you defend lollies, you're a PDF. That's what he is pretty much saying in this post.
No, he associated lolicon with pedophilia, not lolly. One refers to characters that look like children, and the other sexualizes those same characters. I'm having a hard time believing you'd mix up the two, considering you're someone who looks at this shit every day, so I'm going to have to assume you're deceptively trying to downplay Schlepp's issue with this material. In this tweet, he's not saying if you simply like lolly characters, you're a pedophile. He's saying if you're attracted to art that sexually depicts fictional children, you're a pedophile. And now, if Schlepp does believe lolly characters themselves are an issue, then Chibi needs to provide evidence of that being the case.
What really shocks me is that an individual that has their entire career based around being a predator catcher is someone that cannot separate fiction from reality. That is...
See, this is what the lolly community likes to do. They think we're delusional. They think when they post their disgusting drawings, we're like, oh my gosh, that's a real kid, that's a real... Bro, come on, man. You see, they like to play this fallacy, you know, they like to, I don't know what the fallacy is called. I don't think it's called moving the goalpost, but bro, they like to, a red herring, right? They like to do a red herring, whatever those fallacies are called, right? And they'll just look at one little thing and say that that's our argument when that's not our argument at all. Straw man. They like to straw man our argument. That's what it is. Bro, nobody is saying that we can't tell the difference between fiction and reality. We can tell that your guys' shitty drawings are fiction. But that fiction, what that fiction is depicting is immoral, disgusting, and in my personal opinion, and in the law's opinion, and everybody with a sane mind's opinion, illegal. You are drawing children doing sexual things. Yet, you want to say that we don't have a grasp on reality? We don't have a grasp on reality. So, we should be okay with a reality where people not only produce, but goon to pictures of children that they're drawing? We should be okay to live in a reality like that. Okay.
What really...
Yeah, so Chibi did not take either of those reactions well. And then, it got even worse as Chibi started lying about Diesel Passages, posting a video claiming to be one of Diesel's, supposedly being pro-lolicon, even though if you watch the video, it was clear he was doing the exact opposite of that. Something pointed out by Diesel Patches and another YouTuber named Sensitive Society.
I feel it's appropriate to use this as my response in a video to someone calling me a pedophile over lolly content and then getting caught liking lolly content a year ago. Once again, this is just pure Diesel slander, but I'll show the receipts, I'll show the proof. Let's just watch. Let's see what this freak responded with.
Diesel just uploaded a video an hour ago talking about my situation and more or less slandering me and calling me a PDF for defending lolly content within my video. But what I find very interesting about this video is that 1 year ago, he made this post on his YouTube community post tab, more or less joking about lollies within One Piece and anime, and he says with his own words, "Guys, my cousin hacked my account and publicized a video that was meant to be private. What a weirdo, am I right?" And this comment was made after he posted this video, and people were starting to say it was a little bit weird, and so he quickly privated and apparently deleted this video. So I find it very interesting that someone that is calling me a PDF for lolly stuff is turning around and making posts about it a year ago and even making light and joking about it. So, yeah, what's up with that?
Once again, I am not Diesel's lawyer. Once again, Diesel Patches never flat out says Chibi Reviews is a pedophile that should be lynched and should be set on fire. No. Once again, I saw that video 3 times just to make sure I didn't miss it. And once again, that does not happen. Now, I don't know if Chibi Reviews is like, retarded. If you watch Diesel, and even if you don't, unless you're like retarded, right? Like legitimately retarded, you see this and you read this, and it's obviously a joke. It's obviously satirical. And as a matter of fact, I saw this video when it came out, and it was a meme video. A few years ago, Diesel Patches, from time to time, he would upload short 10, 20, 30, 40 second meme videos, shitposts, if you will. And in this specific video, he's making fun of EDP, Minilad, and other freaks. It was not a serious video in any way, shape, or form. This is not Diesel Patches being a lolly lover and being a freak and a degenerate. This is just Chibi Reviews, aka Cuck Reviews, lying and slandering people, which is extremely ironic considering he doesn't like it when people do it to him. Some of you might say, Sense, you're just protecting Diesel Patches, you're sweeping for him. I am so sick and tired of people say sweeping. Anyone that says that should be shot on sight. You're protecting Diesel. I'm about to play you the video that Chibi Reviews is using to catch Diesel Patches as this degenerate lolly lover. Check this out. So that was it, guys. That is Diesel Patches being exposed as a freak. Diesel Patches, more like Diddy Patches, am I right? And Chibi Reviews and his pathetic, stinky fans are running with this narrative that Diesel Patches is now a confirmed pedophile and he groomed 100 5-year-olds, right? But what if they look 5, but mentally they're 4,000 years old, Chibi? What about then? And the Chibi fans are eating this up. This person says, don't throw stones from a glass house. He's certainly not helping the anti-stereotype. Okay, so someone that actually thinks that Diesel loves lolly because of this super slanderous video and comment by Chibi Reviews. Always the people calling others are the ones hiding skeletons. You guys got it. Rant was due. He needed some drama to talk about. I mean, that is literally Chibi Reviews. Chibi Reviews is a fucking grifter on YouTube and on Twitter. The guy legitimately needs to tweet 40 times per day just to be able to afford rent.
Yeah, so really, Chibi either was just straight up lying here or he just didn't watch the video. And honestly, it's a 50-50 because, yeah, he just doesn't do that sometimes. Again, it starts to spiral out of control, and it's honestly hard to keep track of. Chibi claims people are trying to kill him through some tweet online. Some people are debunking those claims, while Chibi is starting to ask for money from his audience to help him move and get away from these vile attacks. And I think a more recent one was him arguing with the internet anarchist, because internet anarchist legitimately did post something of his that wasn't true and photoshopped. Honestly, that fight with the internet anarchist is a pretty good summary of Chibi as a whole. He finds some minor faults in their arguments, or some things that were taken out of context, blows them out of proportion, and then just ignores all the actual evidence against him. Then he starts to play victim, while he and his fans do the very thing they just accused the people like Anarchist of doing, and call him a predator who was projecting by going after Chibi. While Chibi keeps posting actual lolly porn to his Twitter and YouTube channel, and then going after other people who call him a predator for that. Again, he's just going to straight up ignore all the real posts. And again, there is actual real posts Chibi has made in Anarchist's video that he just completely ignored that are just as damning as the fake ones. The reason people will believe these fake things is because everything on his Twitter page is just that. It doesn't really matter if two of them are fake. Chibi's whole personality is this. It's literally his whole bit to make up controversies, play victim, and then blame others for the way he acts. And that's pretty much Chibi in a nutshell. So until next time, see ya.